Good morning, student. Hello, how are you? First of all, I want to tell you that I miss you so much and I wish you have a good health, a good situation, and a nice day. So, today we are going to talk about language development, okay? Open your student book, page 25. Open your student book, page 25. So, here we have as a review for what we talked about during this unit. Okay, so here we have exercise in using the adverb of frequency here, and here we have exercise in using how often. Here we have an exercise to using the instruction. Okay, and the next page we have what? We have um, exercises for practicing the new meaning that we talked about during this unit. Okay, so the first exercise here we have an exercise number 1. So look at the information in the table and write sentences with never, sometimes, and always. If you see one star, so it is what? It is never. If you see 2 stars, it is sometimes. If you see 3 stars, it is what? It is always. Okay, student? So here we have to write sentences using never, sometimes, and always. Okay? So the first one, look. Here we have the subject is me. So I have to use I, okay? And the action is cycle to school, okay? So I never cycle to school. Can you see? I never cycle to school, right? I never cycle to school. So, can you give another example? My friend sometimes what cycles to school. My friend sometimes cycles to school. Why do I use cycles, not cycle? Because the subject is singular noun. My friend, singular noun. That's why I say cycles. My friend sometimes cycles to school, right? And the last one, my brother and sister always cycle to school. My brother and sister always cycle to school. I say cycle, not cycles. Why? Because I have a plural noun, brother and sister, 2 persons, right? So it is cycle, not cycles, right? So please complete the rest of the exercise and write it in your notebook, okay? So complete the rest of the exercise. Let's move now to exercise number 2. Here you have to use these words to ask questions using how often, okay? Here we have word and here we have to use those words to ask questions. Those questions must contain how often, right? So, the first one, look. How often do you take the bus to school? How often do you take the bus to school? Why do I use do? How often do you? Because the subject is you, and with you have to use do or does. With you have to use do, right? How often, the next one, how often do you plant trees? How often do you plant trees? Also here I use do, not does. Why? Because the subject is you, and with you have to use do, right? So, And number C, my father reuse envelopes. Okay, my father. How often, look, how often does your father reuse envelopes? How often does your father? Why do I use does, not do? Because the subject is singular noun. Your father, singular noun, right? And with singular noun, you have do or does. You have to use does. How often does your father reuse envelopes? Okay, student? So, also complete the rest of the exercise in your notebook, okay? Now, let's move to the the next exercise, number 4. Number 3, you have to answer those questions about yourself, okay, student? So, number 4, look at the pictures and complete these instructions with the correct form of these verbs, okay? So, here we have pictures, so you have to look to the pictures and complete the instructions. Those are what? Those are instructions, okay? What instructions? What does instructions mean? Instruction, it is the information that tells us how to do something, right? Can you remember this definition? So, how to do this thing? So, those instruction or those point tells us how to make a mini greenhouse. Okay, those instructions tell, or those points tell us how to make a mini greenhouse, right? So, look, the first one, get a 2-liter plastic bottle. This is number 1. Can you see? Get. The second one is remove the label from the bottle. Save the top. Okay, remove the label. Okay, here we have label, right? If it is Pepsi or Coca-Cola or any brand, so you have to remove the label. Okay, remove what? Remove the label and save the top. Okay, so complete the rest of the exercise in your notebook. Okay, complete the rest. Okay, now let's move to page 26. Okay, so here we have an exercise number 6. Match the word with the definitions. We talked a lot about the definitions, right? You can find those definitions in your notebook and in your activity book in the glossary, right? In the back of the activity book. And I give you all of the definition. You write those definitions in your notebook, right? So, let us start to try number 1. It is a gas in the atmosphere. A gas in the atmosphere. Which one? It is a flood? No. Global warming? No. Earth? No. Environment? No. Junk mail? No. Carbon dioxide? Yes, it is carbon dioxide. It is a kind of what? It is a kind of gas, right? There is a lot of gases around us, right? A lot of gases in the atmosphere. One of those gases is what? Is carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is a gas in the atmosphere, right, student? So complete the rest of the definitions and write them in your notebook, right? Let's move to the last exercise. Here we have a puzzle, okay? Read the clues and write the word in the puzzle, okay? So here we have the clues. Look, those are clues. What does a clues mean? A clue is it a kind or a kind of what? A kind of a keywords. Okay, it is a kind of keywords or definitions, okay, that tells us about a more about the word. Okay, so number one, it is a huge amount of water that covers a land. Huge amount of water that covers the land, especially in winter. In winter, like those days, there's a lot of water, a lot of rain, okay, that covers the land. It is what? It is a flood, right? It is what? It is flood, right? So please write flood here. So here we have 2, 3, 4, and 5. So complete the rest, okay, student? So this is what? This is a kind of review. That's why I ask you to complete the exercises alone, okay? Because all of these exercises, we talked about them during this semester. This is what? A review. That's why you have to answer those questions and those exercises alone. Okay, student? So let's move to your activity book. Open your activity book, page 22. Open your activity book, page 22. Here we have what I have learned. ماذا تعلمت during this unit, okay? So exercise number 1, complete the pieces of advice with the correct form of these verbs, and what? You have to complete those sentences with the correct what? The correct form of the verbs, okay? So the first one, in winter, the heating. So it is what? It is turn down. In winter, the heating. Turn down, okay? Turn down, okay? So, but in summer, turn off the air conditioning every day for 4 hours when you are not in the house. So turn off when you are when you are out of the house, when you are not in the house, and turn down when you are in the house, okay? So complete the rest. Exercise number 2, make sentences. You have to make what? You have to make sentences using those words, okay, student? So let's try the first one. Is global warming Earth's atmosphere rise in global warming the. So the sentence, can you try to reorder this word? Reorder those words. Global warming is the rise in the Earth's temperature, right? It is the rise in the Earth's temperature. Okay, student? So try to complete the rest of those sentences. Let's move to exercise number 3. Choose the correct answer. Choose the correct answer. Let's try to solve the first one. The temperature of the goes up. The temperature of what? The temperature of the earth goes up, right? Why don't we use like why don't we use earth's or this one? Because the verb is goes. We have verb goes up. So here we have, or we need subject verb. The earth goes up. The earth goes up. Okay, student? So complete the rest of the sentences and write down them. Okay, student? So this is our lesson for today. If you have any question, any comment, just let me know and ask me whatever you want. So see you next time and have a nice weekend. Goodbye.